It began subtly, almost imperceptibly. At first, it was just small changes. My wife, Kara, spending more time with a new circle of friends from her workplace. 3 women who seemed, at every turn, to view men not as partners, but as problems, to be fixed or discarded. I didn't think much of it in the beginning. Everyone needs their own social space, right? A little time with friends, some laughter, maybe a glass of wine to unwind. I figured it was harmless. But over the weeks, I noticed something different creeping into our home. It wasn't just her schedule that changed, it was her tone, her language, her energy. These friends of hers, they weren't just supporting one another. They were feeding each other bitterness. Conversations became tainted with sarcasm and contempt when they spoke of their husbands and boyfriends. They made it a game, one where secrets were encouraged and loyalty was optional. They posted cryptic little quotes online, things like "make him miss you by disappearing," followed by smug emojis and hashtags about empowerment. I laughed it off, like you do with most things that feel too ridiculous to be real. But it stopped being funny. It was a Tuesday evening. I'd come home a little late, forgot to take the trash out, an honest mistake, nothing more. But Kara, she exploded. It wasn't normal frustration. It was a full-blown tirade. 20 minutes of pent-up rage. She shouted about how I never appreciated her, how I took her for granted, how I'd grown complacent and lazy. Her words weren't just angry, they felt rehearsed, like she'd said them before, not to me, but to someone else. Practiced them, memorized the lines. I stood there, stunned, trying to grasp what I had missed. Sure, I wasn't perfect, but we always handled things with calm and respect. This was different, cold, calculated. The next morning, she was packing a small bag. I asked her where she was going, and without meeting my eyes, she said she needed space. Just a few days to clear her head. "Don't call me," she added flatly. "I'll reach out when I'm ready." I pressed gently for a reason, for anything to hold on to. But she gave none, just slammed the door and left me standing there, feeling like a ghost in my own house. By the 3rd day, I was unraveling. I sent a few texts, nothing too heavy, just checking in. No reply. I called once, straight to voicemail, and then I saw it. One of her friends had posted a selfie on social media, all for women, clinking wine glasses, laughing like they didn't have a care in the world. The caption read, "Teaching men consequences 101 #girl power." Double quotes. My stomach dropped. There she was, Kara, smiling like nothing was wrong, like this was all a game, a joke, a social experiment. I stared at that photo for what felt like hours. My heart pounded as realization set in. She hadn't left because of the trash or some petty household tension. She left to teach me a lesson. A lesson in what? Exactly. Existing, loving her, showing up every day, and working hard to provide a life we built together. It hit me then, this wasn't just about us. It was about the poison whispered into her ear, the groupthink, the toxic ideas planted in her head by people who treated relationships like battles to win. I was hurt, angry, and frankly, afraid of what this meant for our future. I called my brother, trying to find a voice of reason. He listened, quiet, before saying, "You're not the one who needs a lesson, man." He was right. I wasn't perfect, but I was committed. I was present. I was faithful. I was the kind of man who showed up even in silence, even in storms. And now, I was being treated like the enemy in my own home. So I reached out to someone I knew. Kara respected deeply, her mother, a strong, blunt woman who didn't sugarcoat. I explained everything. She sighed so heavily I could feel the weight of it through the phone. "Those girls again," she muttered. Turns out this wasn't the first time Kara had gotten swept into the drama of damaging friendships. Her mother thanked me for calling and promised to speak with her. The next day, she followed up. Her voice was grim. "I tried, sweetheart. I really did." But she wouldn't listen. She told me, "He doesn't deserve my presence right now." Those words echoed in my head like thunder. Deserve her presence? That wasn't Kara talking. That was someone else's script. Someone else's warped ideology playing out through the woman I married. That night, I sat in the quiet of our home and replayed our memories. The way we used to dance in the kitchen. The way she used to laugh when I kissed her forehead. The dreams we had of growing old together, sharing coffee, On a porch somewhere. Now, she was ghosting me to make a point, disappearing to prove some twisted notion of power. Then something I never expected happened. A message appeared on my phone from Leah, one of Kara's co-workers not part of the clique. Her message was short, but heavy. Hey, I know this is weird, but I thought you should know. Kara and those girls planned this for weeks. They think it's funny. I think it's disgusting. She attached screenshots from their group chat. I read them with shaking hands. It was all there, every step laid out. Don't respond to his calls. Let him sit in silence. Don't come home for at least a week. He needs to sweat. He needs to feel it. But feel what? What was the crime? Being a decent husband, loving without drama. That broke something in me. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stood up, packed a small bag, and left a note on the kitchen table. Nothing dramatic, just taking space. Just like you. And then I drove 3 hours to a remote cabin my cousin owns. No cell signal. No distractions. Just trees, sky, and my own thoughts. I needed to ask myself the hardest question of all: was this marriage even worth saving? 2 days later, I returned. Kara was already home. She looked startled when I walked through the door. Where were you? She demanded, arms crossed. I met her gaze calmly. Taking space, I replied, just like you asked for. She was silent for a long moment. I could see the gears turning. The script she'd been given didn't have a line for this. I wasn't chasing her. I wasn't groveling. I was hurt. She finally said, I needed you to feel what I felt. For what? I asked quietly. What did I actually do to deserve being ghosted by my own wife? More silence. But this one wasn't powerful. It was empty, hollow. She had no answer. Because there was none. And in that moment of silence, I saw the truth settle in her eyes. I told her I'd seen the posts. I knew the plan. I read the messages. Her face crumpled. Tears came, but they didn't move me. She said it was never meant to be punishment, just a reset. A way to jolt us into something better. But even she didn't believe it. Her voice trembled with the weight of her own betrayal. We agreed to take a break. She moved in with her sister. I stayed in the house. Weeks have passed since then. We still talk, here and there. But the damage is real. The air between us is thick with things that can't be unsaid. And now, I see things clearer than I ever did before. Real love doesn't require manipulation. It doesn't disappear to make a point. It shows up. It fights fair. It holds uneven. When it's hard. What Kara and her friends did wasn't empowering. It was cruel. It was childish. And it fractured something sacred. Maybe we'll heal. Maybe we won't. But I know this. No one who truly loves you lets others turn your relationship into a weapon. And sometimes, the lesson you try to teach someone ends up being the one that changes you. I'm done being the student.